Well, hey there, friends. It's Allie. How are you? I want to have a little rant yet info session about this new drug that was approved it's a diabetes drug that they have now approved for weight loss. And I'm not a big fan of weight loss drugs because the reason why you're holding on to weight in the first place can vary from person to person. There's no one size fits all. And I don't know if you're sensing a theme on my recent rants, but whether it's Alzheimer's or weight or an autoimmune condition, you can have the same diagnosis, but the route to resolution can look different for 10 people who have the same diagnosis. And so what drugs like this that have a lot of side effects that can cause the same problems that you're probably struggling with if you have weight, what they're not taking into account is all of the other factors that contributed to the weight gain in the first place. I mean, how many of you have stuck weight, but you also have all of these other symptoms involved? So maybe there's pain, maybe there's brain fog, maybe there's hormonal issues, maybe there's digestive issues. All of these things are not being taken into consideration. Now, when you have all of these things, what we will often do as a first step in the functional medicine world is start to heal your gut, because anything that you're bringing into your body, it goes into your gut first. That's where your food gets processed. That's where everything gets absorbed. And so if you're bringing in food and you can't absorb it, it's not going to work for you. And you can actually gain weight by eating food that's not getting absorbed. So you might think, well, I should be losing a lot of weight if I'm not absorbing. No, because your body is holding on to everything it possibly can because it thinks that it's starving. So optimizing your gut function and being able to absorb the nutrients in your food is of utmost importance. And there can be several reasons why that's happening, why you're unable to digest the food. Now, it could be because you have some kind of genetic issue. It could be that you have some kind of physical impairment. Maybe you had some kind of trauma. Maybe you had an injury. Maybe you have food sensitivities. So things that are coming in with your food or the food that you're bringing in is causing an inflammatory reaction. You're actually setting off an immune storm, a war in your body. So it's fighting a war and can't actually lose the weight because it's too busy thinking that your life is in danger. Because that's what your body is designed to do, is keep you alive and safe. It doesn't really care if you hold on to weight, because I'm here to tell you, when everything is working right and you're eating the right foods, the weight, any extra weight that you don't need, is gonna fall off. My clients who have just participated in our cleanse are seeing that, because after not being able to lose any weight for the past year, maybe losing 3 pounds in a month, lost 8 pounds in 2.5 weeks, and not from not eating. That's the thing. She's eating more than she ever had and has more energy, has clearer skin, and is losing weight. So again, I ask you, do you need a drug? No. You need to fix what's going on the inside. So, a lot of programs, a lot of gut health programs will start with the 4 R's, which is first you have to replace or resolve what is the inflammation? What is the inflammation caused by? Is it food sensitivities? Is it environmental toxins? That's huge. So many people are bringing in toxins through their food, thinking that they're eating healthfully, but they're bringing in all of these excess xenoestrogens. That's a huge inflammatory. It messes up your hormones and also causes a lot of inflammation. You can get that from seafood. You can get that from the packaging your food is in. You can get it from your personal care and cleaning products. All of these things can mess with your digestive system, your adrenals, your respiratory system, your brain function, all of these things. So that can contribute to you holding on to weight. So first we have to remove whatever we think the cause is. That's first of all. Then, and also if there's an infection, so there could be an infection. You could, because of all of these things going on for however long they've been going on, then you might have developed some kind of bacterial overgrowth or some kind of infection that you got through food or drink or being in a hospital for whatever reason, or there's many different ways that you can have a gut infection, so you have to remove that too. And then you want to replace, so you want to replace the lining of your gut. So when you have inflammation for a long time, think about when you have on your skin, let's say you got burnt or injured, that it has to heal. So we have to help your body to heal on the inside the same way you need to do it on the outside. Problem is you can't really see it on the inside, but we know that it needs to heal. You can look, you can obviously do a scope and you can see, take pictures, but so things that can heal your gut lining, put a nice little coating on it so that it's not painful, because a painful digestive tract is not going to digest very much and you're not going to want to eat. So it's sort of a vicious cycle. So we have to use digestive enzymes to make sure that you can absorb the food, digest and absorb the food that you're taking in. That's so important. And then re-inoculate. So we have to bring in probiotics and prebiotics to make sure that the microbial balance in your gut that may have been destroyed by all of those other things is back into balance, because that's when the overgrowth happens. Big truck. That's when the overgrowth happens, and then things get off balance and you start the cycle again. This is what the drug is not taking into account. Just taking a drug can maybe help you not be hungry all the time, but I argue that if you feel like you're hungry all the time and not satiated, I would want to take a look at what are you eating? How are you eating? Are your hormones in balance? Because it's a hormonal problem. If you are thinking that you're hungry all the time and you're actually eating good quality food, it's a hormonal imbalance. It's hormones that tell your body, I'm full, I don't need any more food. And there's actually chemicals that come in with your food that can tell your hormone, leptin, the hormone that says, I'm full, I'm done, it can actually suppress that hormone, so your brain never gets to hear, I'm full. So you keep eating and you think that you're starving all the time. Really, you're not. It's a hormonal imbalance. It's a miscommunication that's happened from a variety of things. We have to take these things into consideration. And obviously, after we've inoculated, we repair. So that's the coding. That's the coding I'm talking about. I skipped ahead in my step. But now that's just the medical sciencey part. But what about all the nuances of being a human in the world? So we can work on all of that, but what exactly are you eating and how are you eating? Because if you are constantly bringing in things that are going to disrupt all of the work that we just did, it kind of defeats the purpose, right? And if you're eating while stressed, right? We think about, you don't want to drive while drinking. You don't want to eat while stressed, because stress is going to mess up your hormone balance. Stress can be just as bad as bringing in genetically modified food, chemicals in food. It can be just as bad because your brain doesn't know the difference between, I'm just stressed because I'm a little neurotic and I have all of this work to do and we're traveling and blah, 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 blah. Your brain doesn't know the difference between artificial stress or just lifestyle stress and real danger. Oh my God, my life is in danger. The saber-toothed tiger is gonna hunt me down and kill me and my family. It doesn't know the difference. So if you're constantly in a state of stress, you are constantly having hormonal imbalance. Your cortisol is high. Your cortisol is a stress hormone that your adrenals are pumping out. If you couple that with foods to which you're sensitive and you're having inflammation at the digestive level, plus all of the cortisol because you're stressed, which actually the inflammation causes cortisol to get even higher. So you're constantly at this high state of stress with cortisol pumping. Then you have your pancreas shooting out insulin going, oh my God, there's so much cortisol. Let's try to bring this down. There's too much sugar in your blood. Let's try to bring this down. Let's try to get the sugar into the cells, right? When you're stressed, you're going for starchy foods, carbs, sugar. You need a pick-me-up and falsely think that that's going to calm you down when in fact it's actually heightening everything. So it sets off this whole hormonal cascade, and no wonder you feel exhausted and you're not going to lose any weight, because you're constantly at this state of it's an emergency. We have to go run for our lives. We're not worried about losing weight, making a baby, stopping pain, focusing on the task at hand. We are running for our lives. And that's what your body starts to think if you are constantly in a state of emergency. So calming the body, sitting down to eat, chewing your food actually helps to start the digestive process. It actually starts in your mouth. Carbohydrate in particular starts in your mouth. And so if we're not chewing our food, you're cocking up the digestive process. You're making it that much harder. And if you have a gut that's been compromised for a variety of reasons, you're further complicating things because it's even harder to digest. So it starts here, and then if you have issues here, you're gonna have even more problems. And then by the time it gets out, it's gonna have trouble getting out if it gets out at all. And then so again, this whole vicious cycle. So whenever you are thinking, I really have to lose this weight, you have to look at, what am I bringing in? Am I bringing in inflammatory foods? Am I bringing in foods that I unknowingly am sensitive to? Am I eating enough variety of foods? Am I getting enough fiber in my diet? Am I getting enough good quality protein? That does not have to mean animal product, by the way, not at all, but quality protein. Am I getting fat? If you can't tolerate fat, that's another reason why you might be holding on to weight. You need fat, your skin needs fat, your brain needs fat. So you have to look at these things. Then you have to look at, okay, so the quality is good. What about how are my hormone balance? How is my blood sugar? Because I just went over this whole cascade of hormonal imbalance that sets you up for a series of symptoms and distress and holding on to weight. And it's not a drug that's going to get you there. It's taking a look at what you're doing, what you're bringing in, how your body is functioning. Only you know how your body is functioning. If you're pooping regularly and nice good poops and daily and even multiple times a day, no more than 3, but 1 to 3 times every day, good quality poops. If you're staying hydrated, if you know that to the best of your ability, you're not bringing in extra toxins and allergenic foods, inflammatory foods to your regular diet. And that's not saying you can't have a glass of wine or you can't have a cocktail from time to time, but I'm here to tell you, if you are struggling with something actively, if you are in an active flare or you have a lot of pain or a lot of symptoms, skip it. That's not going to help you. Your body is saying, help me, help me, help me. That's what that's what's wrong, is you're not listening. It's not that your body is problematic. It's that you're not listening to the signs that it's telling you. It's screaming for help. So I would forego that until you can resolve what's going on there. And then once you have everything into balance, look at your digestion. Again, I'm going back to the poops. Are you pooping regularly? And your sleep. So if you're not sleeping well, and this goes on regularly, I mean, my God, I used to subsist on 4 hours of sleep. That was my regular thing. And one day I crashed. I mean, I'm talking hardcore. My eyes were so bloody and I couldn't even function anymore. I thought my head was going to explode, and I slept for 17 hours. And there comes a breaking point. You cannot go without sleep. And if you're having issues in all of these other areas with your hormone balance, with your digestion, with holding on to weight, then you gotta back it up and look at, how am I sleeping? And your sleep at night starts with how your day begins in the morning. Believe it or not, you're already preparing for sleep. And I have, personally, I have lots of different love-hate issues with sleep. I love to sleep, but I have tended to be a sleep procrastinator because I let all of that anxiety of what's to come keep me up later, even when I have full permission to go to sleep and the ability to go to sleep in a nice bed, and I don't. But that's on me. You have to shut down your brain, go through this whole, we wash our face and we put the dishes away and get everything ready for the next day, but we also have to clean up our mind and get into a state of relaxation to be able to go to sleep. but your detoxification happens while you're sleeping from like 11 to 2 in the morning. So if you're up and eating, you're gonna mess up that whole cycle. You will wake up feeling wasted in the morning. Ever wake up and feel drunk? You're like, I didn't even drink anything. What happened? You're not getting through your full detoxification cycle overnight. Your body needs to rest and digest and reset. You know, the different things that you take in, your carbohydrate, your protein, your fat, they take different amounts of time to digest. So if you eat a lot of food late at night, you're gonna be digesting that while you're sleeping, when instead you're supposed to be detoxifying, repairing, resting, resetting, so you wake up refreshed. If you're not doing these things, you're gonna hold on to weight. Most people who are not getting good quality sleep find that they're hungrier during the day, they have low energy, and they can't release the weight. It's not some magic pill that you're missing. You have to go back and look at all of these other things, all of these other lifestyle things. So it is your diet and it's also your lifestyle. And this is the difference between somebody getting a prescription pill and somebody actually doing the work to go through, what am I doing and how can I be better? What is my body telling me? How can I make this fit so that my body is happy and I'm happy? I don't think taking a pill, I guess it sounds like it could be super easy, but it's not a license to keep doing whatever you were doing. And so just taking a pill is not addressing that. It's not addressing the underlying problem. Stress, diet, inadvertent toxins, digestive function, hormonal balance, all of these things. These will get you faster, get your results faster if you just step back and take a little bit of time to examine yourself and get in tune with your body, because you guys have been together for a long time and hopefully for a long time to come. So if you haven't gotten to know each other well, do it now, and you will see when you start listening and giving your body what it wants, it starts to reciprocate in kind. You're like, wow, I didn't know I could lose all that. I didn't know I could do that. I didn't know I could. Your body wants to repair. It wants to work for you. It wants to thrive for you. It just needs the tools. And you have access to that. You have access to all of the tools you need. And it's not in some pill that's going to give you the same side effects that I'm talking about. We can fix with diet and lifestyle and getting your head on straight. I hope that this is helpful. I don't know if you or someone you know is thinking about taking that drug. I'm here to tell you it's a lot cheaper. You can workshop this yourself, and also with a qualified professional. I happen to be one. Take a look at yourself, listen to your body. You got this. I love you. Share this with somebody who needs to hear it, and have a great day. Bye for now. And if you need a little more help and support with this, be sure to grab my guide, The Chronic Illness Recovery Roadmap, where I show you the exact steps to take so that you can heal from your chronic illness. Remember, your weight is not the problem, it's a symptom. Grab the guide.